December 26th, y'all. Tiffanie Kellogg here, and I'm so excited to be joined for another one of our Women Entrepreneur Living Child Free. I have someone coming with us from across the pond to talk about Boxing Day, which is today, though it's not as big of a holiday as Americans think of it, but that's how Americans go. But I do want to say we have Grogu here. We don't get to see him a lot because he's usually off the screen, but Grogu is dressed up and ready to go for the holiday cheer. And now I'm ready to bring on my guest, Kristie. Welcome. So excited to have you here with us today. Welcome to Women Entrepreneurs Living Child Free.
Thank you very much for having me. And Boxing Day, it is another bank holiday, so it does mean we automatically get the day off, which is which is a good thing. And I did find out Boxing Day, it was a thing the Queen started. She used to give presents to the poor on Boxing Day, so that is why it's called Boxing Day, giving them boxes to the poor the day after Christmas.
And so now if it's a bank holiday, because I'm thinking here in the States, it is not a bank holiday for us. I think we get Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, New Year's Eve and New Year's Day. Or maybe it's a half day. Now I'm going to have to look it up. What do most Brits do on Boxing Day?
Well, I have to say, I think for a lot of people, it's a mix of going to see other members of family. So you go to, if you've got lots of family, you'll go to one of them on Christmas Day and then another lot on Boxing Day. But of course, all the shop sales start on Boxing Day as well. So there are a huge number of people that will just go shopping.
And that's what us Americans do from Black Friday on. So, we did all the shopping before. Maybe y'all do after. But y'all, we are not here to talk about cultural difference, though. That could certainly be a very fun side series for our Women Entrepreneur Living Child Free, because we do have people living all across the globe. And Kristie is here joining us. So Kristie, let's start off with something nobody knows too much about you. This fun factoid she's going to dive into. She was asked about starting a new group in her local area. As a person that's normally happier working behind the scenes and very nervous talking to large groups, kind of like me, this was a way out of her comfort zone. So I see some similarities here. Talk to us about this, please.
Yes, I have to say, being my first year in business, getting to grips with the first business and thinking about running something else, I thought, no way. But I am actually pleased that there were 3 other ladies that wanted to do the same thing. So although I did take up the mainstay of organising and actually being centre stage, which I never thought I would like to, I got going, and ever since been my group that I've carried on running, because the other ladies have got busy in their businesses or lives, that I carried it on. Now it's not a fully running group now. We do have a WhatsApp group, but it did improve my confidence. It was great to be around other entrepreneurs, and we just had fun. And I didn't think it was possible to have fun being in front of a large group of people and actually guiding them along. But I have enjoyed it.
Sometimes it's like that. I'm stepping a little outside of my comfort zone to speak, and then we just keep stepping and stepping, because I'm like you. I was not a speaker. I was not like, no, I'm not going to speak in front of a room full of people. That's weird. Why would I do that?
Exactly.
And yeah, here we are again talking about another networking organization. And I know you just had the opportunity this month here in December to attend one of our Women Entrepreneur Living Child Free events. Y'all, we host these the second Tuesday of every month. And so I'd love to hear, what were your thoughts in meeting some of these new and amazing women?
I very much enjoyed it. It is great to be in a space of other people that understand. They don't have children, they don't want children, and what we do. Get to enjoy traveling without having to think about what arrangements do we need to make, because, well, personally for me, being single, I just have to think about myself and get myself to wherever I want to go. So it was great to meet like-minded women.
Yeah, it is a difference of the flexibility and the freedom to get up and go. It's like, hey, you want to go somewhere this weekend? And you're like, yeah, I don't think I have anything planned. Whereas, like, if I ask a parent, they're like, what weekend is that? Where are the kids? What are that? And I'm like, I asked somebody like, hey, you want to come to a concert? And they're like, it's a school night, isn't it? I'm like, I don't know. It's do you want to come to a concert? Not
Yep.
yeah, I don't know what the school nights are.
No, and that is the one thing when you're running network meetings, isn't it, though? If you, because my meetings were open to everybody, so yes, when you got to the school holidays, it's like, yeah, I didn't factor that one in, but obviously you still have people there. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it depends on what you're doing, who you're doing it for. There's a group that I'm a part of, and the person running it's Canadian, so they actually had something on Thanksgiving, and I think everybody was there because we all wanted to be there. We all kind of like snuck out from our meals. Though I'm like laughing because everybody's like, "Oh, I need to cook this and cook that," and I'm like, "Yeah, nah, I'm playing with the kids." But so, talking about this traveling and being around, you're kind of traveling and being around quite a bit. So, can you tell us a little bit about your traveling and being around? But that also plays into your business a bit as well, too.
Yeah, well, very quickly, how did it all come about? Because it wasn't something I decided that I was in my plan to do. But life had other plans. I had to leave my rental accommodation, had 6 months to think about what I was going to do. And for the first time, instead of me saying, let me help you, I was actually asking people for help. What do I do? And people suggested house and pet sitting.
Hmm.
So I thought, I've not thought about this, and it's amazing what a big industry it actually is. And I love pets. Haven't had pets for years since I was growing up at home. So let's give it a try. So at the beginning of last year, I gave it a try and had lots of lovely people that came back into my lives that I've not seen for a long time. And I looked after the furry family while they enjoyed holidays and started a second business. So that is now what I do alongside my main business. Enjoy to see different parts of the UK, meet some lovely people, and as I say, they're furry family members.
So, are you pretty secure in I'm staying in the UK for the time being, or is it more of a I'm just going to see where it takes me?
I am going to see where it takes me. I have to say, I just thought the first year it was a case of, let's just figure out the UK for a while. Because of course there's logistics, isn't it, when it comes to going abroad and insurances and lots of other things that I need to figure out. So I just needed to figure out, was it for me first
Yeah.
before I started playing further afield? But I'm definitely open to further afield.
Yeah, yeah. It's such an interesting thing. I've been talking to some people lately, comparing traveling because I'm like, I've been to so few countries but I've been to a lot of states and like Europe is like all these little countries and not the one state. And so it's such a different way of looking at traveling and different countries. And is it the country versus the state? Because a lot of our states are bigger than some of the countries. And because you've been in America for a bit. You were down in Texas for a while, weren't you?
Yes, and I was absolutely gobsmacked that apparently the UK fits into Texas 5 times. So, yes, I'm not surprised that you don't travel to many other countries because you've got lots and lots of places to see in just your big country alone and just in your one state alone.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm in Florida, so if I want to go west, well, that's the ocean. But if I go east, there's Disney World or Port Canaveral,
Mm,
where the Space Center is, or Daytona Beach, where you drive on the beach, or like where I live, we have two of the best cities or beaches in the U.S. So yeah, I could see it that way,
mm,
but it is different. And here it is easier because all the insurances are the same. It's always fun to
yeah.
think about those differences, but not in a bad way, just in what's different. So tell us a little bit. more about your business, because y'all, our women entrepreneur living child free, you're going to be seeing Kristie at more events because she is going to be helping me out. So you talk to people a little bit about what it is that you do and how it is that you help business owners and why, because some of you that are watching this are going to say, Tiffanie, but you're pretty good in that realm. Why we need professional help, even if we're pretty good.
Thank you very much. So, yes, how did Zoom producing become a thing? And you're probably not surprised. It became a thing in 2020 for me. Because, like I said at the beginning, I started a network group. I didn't want to stop those connections carrying on while we were in lockdown and we couldn't see each other in person. So I started by bringing my network group online. I got local community groups online. I used to offer a coffee catch up for anybody because, of course, we were all stuck at home, not just business owners. And over that time, it was like, okay, there is a need for this because I did attend events and I'm sure you've been to them too. Those awkward silences when someone says, please let me just check the chat for any questions, talk amongst yourselves, and it goes silent.
Ugh.
That
And
poor
then there's the
person.
questions.
No, and I do feel for that person that's trying to find the questions amongst, more often than not, some lovely comments about how they're enjoying the event. They must feel very, very stressed at that point. So instead of feeling stressed, that is exactly what I do. I'm keeping an eye on that. So when they're ready for the questions, I have them
Mm,
to hand. Or the breakout rooms when you're wanting to have people in different rooms at different times so that the same people aren't talking to each
mm,
other every breakout room. And yes, I was lucky enough to do some work for a training company, so it was a thing. I am a virtual assistant, but rather than saying I'm a VA, I'm a Zoom producer because, like the conversation I had just 2 days ago, when I say I'm a Zoom producer, he says, you're top of my list. I don't know any other Zoom producers. Now,
mm.
people do what I do. They just word it differently. But as I say, it's to stand out from the crowd. And I, again, hated being on video and now absolutely love it not being on video, but supporting everyone else. So again, I prefer to be the person backstage that's helping the person host their event and run smoothly.
Yeah, and I think that there's probably a few groups of people. I think a lot of people have no idea what it takes to run a Zoom event smoothly. Like they just show up and
Mm.
maybe they've been in a room before where somebody like accidentally let the wrong person in. I only had one event like that. It wasn't mine. I attended someone else's. I'm like, oh, that's what they're talking about Zoom. Yeah. I'm like, wow, that was quite interesting. But talk a little bit about why, because I know you mentioned, let me check out the box, let me scroll through, but talk a little bit more about what are some things that we need to take into consideration, like why it's important, and maybe tips for those of us not quite ready, and how do we know when we're ready to go to a Zoom producer? Because I'm assuming if it's just me and somebody for a get to know you referral meeting, I'm probably not going to need a Zoom producer for that.
No, no, it is once you get to a few people. I mean, I have supported meetings that have just been 6 people. It's not always a lot of people. I'm excited to share that in the new year, I am going to be supporting a meeting of 100 or more, which will be a first for me, and I'm very much looking forward to. But it
Nice.
is all about whether you've got a room of 6 people or 60 people. If somebody turns up late, how many people get thrown off their flow because they've had to let someone in? Now, it could also be someone's had a technical difficulty and they've dropped out and come back in. So it's not through choice they're late. They've been kicked out and coming back in. And just those things alone can throw you off thinking, I need to let that person in. And then what do they need? What have they missed? Well, they by having me there, they don't need to worry about that because if there is a question, then first of all the person can ask in the chat, and if I can answer it. but I also get to know the host, to know when I can interrupt, so that maybe we can just backtrack for those few people, because it would be a good opportunity for others to hear, or just remind them if it's being recorded. Sorry you missed the last 5 minutes, but the recording will be shared with you at the end so that you can catch up on that bit um, down the line. Or if it's a document that they should have, I've looked after a lot of workshops where they need workbooks. So if it's not sharing in the chat for whatever reason for them, emailing it over to them and making sure they have those things. It just also gives you, the host, some time back. While I'm making sure everyone can speak and see and hear everything, the host can just have an extra minute or two to compose themselves and be ready for what they need to do. And as a backup plan, they have technical difficulties too, and if they drop out, they know someone is talking to their audience. They don't
Yeah,
have to panic.
it happens. I mean, even the
Yeah.
people with the best technology, stuff
Mhm.
happens. And it's not always even our fault. So it's nice to have. And like, I forgot to do something earlier today, and I'm like, oh, that just means now I'm gonna put that on the list of things to make sure I do, because I'm like, oh, I'll get y'all.
Mm.
And then I forgot. And I detest doing that. And now I'll be like, okay, that just goes on the list of things that I can say, and Kristie, because we put it in there every month. Here's the running document. Here's that link that we would use all the time.
Yeah. Completely. Yeah. And I have been at that point where I've had a trainer, they dropped out literally 2 minutes before they were due to start. And so that he didn't have um all those eyes looking at him when he got himself set back up, I
Mm,
welcomed them in, put them into breakout rooms, and asked them to introduce each other. And then when he was ready, bring them back to the room, because again, that's so daunting when you've got all those faces, and he just needs his own proper setup before he gets started. He didn't have to fluster.
that makes such sense. And yeah, the little things, we are paying attention. What we got away with in 2020, we are not getting away with anymore. And I don't. What do you think for the people that say Zoom is going away?
I don't think it's going away, and that is because we've made too many connections. Let's face it, you and I wouldn't be talking if Zoom
Mm-mm.
hadn't been there. And I don't want to stop talking to you now that we can go back to in person. And there's plenty of other people. So, and as business women, we've widened our audience of who we can work with. So, why would you want to make your audience smaller again to your local network?
Yeah, yeah, I'm totally there with you. I feel like,
Mm.
they always talk about what would it take to make it worldwide and everybody get on Zoom. And I think the pandemic did that in a way that nothing else would have. I don't think we would be on Zoom the way we are today. Cause like I was on Zoom in 2017. Cause like I have, it's like you've been a member since 2017. Cause I've had it since then, but nobody else did. My webinars were like 5 or 10 people max. Nobody was going on there. Nobody knew what it was.
No, no, and I think a lot of people were probably like me. They didn't like video because you spend too much time thinking, I don't like looking at myself. I don't want to look at myself.
Yeah.
You had to overcome that in 2020, because you didn't have a business, did you?
Right, right. And I wonder if it's we are more used to seeing ourselves now. Or because like
Mm.
I know sometimes when I'm doing, I'm like, oh, that's a weird angle. Because I'm so used to seeing myself like in this angle of like, looking on the camera. I'm trying to see because I'm trying to still look. But when you're trying to look but not look, and you're like, I'm not used to seeing that. Just the silliness of it all. And I think that there's some joy that we do get to be silly. And I think this women
Mm.
entrepreneurs living child free, we definitely embrace the silliness. So if you haven't come joined us in the Facebook group yet, it's facebook.com/group/women entrepreneurs living child free. We have a page and a group. because we want to hang out with other women that are looking to have time, money, and fun, but definitely, we're having this fun. And I've had some people that'll tell me online, Kristie, like, oh my gosh, like you've got a TARDIS in your office. Oh, you're going to MegaCon, like all of this cool stuff. How do you do that? And I'm like, well, if I'm not buying these toys for my kids, I can buy them for myself, right? What else excites you about being able to network with other women entrepreneur living child free? I mean, that's what's bringing us together. That's what we have in common.
Ah, I guess because we all do have an alternative view on what life is. We've certainly, I think, as women, it's so easy to think that you leave school and college, and then you get married and you have children, and that's supposed to be how it works. So to be with other people that are child free, we are all doing something completely different. Um, and I think for me, it's only in recent years that I'm actually living life on my terms and not thinking about those. I should be doing this by now. I think we do a lot of I should be, and the word needs to disappear from the dictionary. We are at the right place for us and doing what we want to do. So I get to enjoy spending time with friends when I want to spend time with them. I get to go to the theatre, enjoy going to see different locations, I say currently in the UK, but hopefully further afield at some point, and not have to think about what what my children where my children need to be or where my partner needs to be. None of those sorts of. It's
Yeah.
just me.
It's very different when you live a life where you are it. And I know, like I have a husband and two dogs, and like the dogs will sometimes, like when we travel, we'll take them to my in-laws or to their dog parents, godparents. Like they have a hole in the door, they're bedding there. Like we don't even have to take stuff. We just take the dogs. They have all their stuff everywhere. They are so spoiled. But I'm like, as soon as they're gone, I'm like I get it because I'm like looking for them. Where are they at? And in a way, my husband doesn't. It's definitely a woman man thing because he's like, whatever. And I'm like, I've looked for them 4 times already and they're gone. It's not that I'm missing them. I'm just used to seeing them. And it's very different when it's just you and you're like, I get to do whatever I want all on my own.
Yes, and that is another thing. When you do things on your own, people think it's it's terrible to do things on your own. And actually, yes, it takes a lot. It took a lot for me to do things on my own. But it can be quite enjoyable to go out for a meal on your own and people watch and just watch the world go by.
I love it. I love it. So I know you have something that you do a couple of times a month. Tell us about your Wednesdays, please, and thank you. And y'all, if you're looking
Well,
for the link, wherever you're watching this, the link is in the description. So you'll be able to go, do, 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 click, go.
thank you very much. So it is Kristie's Kaizen Get Together, and it's all about fellow business owners coming together on the second and fourth Wednesday. Now I've probably got that. So bear with me a moment. It is twice a month on a Wednesday at 2 p.m. UK time, and it is all about working on your business, not in it. And it can be anything from spending that time to working on a task that you've been putting to the bottom of your to-do list and you finally get it done. Or is there an idea that you've had on in the back of your mind, but you haven't moved it forward and would like to share it in a safe space? You get to do that at my Kaizen get together twice a month. I've had lots of positive feedback, from I've been putting off that task and it literally just took me 2 minutes. Why
Yes.
didn't I do it before?
Mm-hmm.
So if that's your thoughts, come along to Kristie's Kaizen get together. Um, and they are free. They will always be free. It's an hour and 15 minutes to take some time out from your business.
And I don't know that the Americans are used to the word Kaizen as much as the Brits maybe. Are those of you over there across the pond, you want to tell us what that means?
Well, I don't think it's very common in the UK either. It is a Japanese phrase, and it's all about improving by 1%. And just because that is it, we just need to make small steps, and those small steps can make a massive difference to your life, your business. So that is what Kaizen is all about. It's improving 1% at a time.
I absolutely love and adore that. And y'all can come and see Kristie. She will be joining us for our Connect and Collaborate events on the third Tuesday of every month for our women entrepreneurs living child-free. Where else can they find you online if they're like, yes, I need a little help. I need that Zoom producer. Where can they find you?
I mainly hang out on LinkedIn, so that's the place to go. Or you can head over to my website, which is kristienorris.com. But probably best to find me on LinkedIn is probably the best thing, and that is just because of spelling my name, which is Kristie. Just for those, just so you're aware. Thank you very much.
The IE ending names.
Yes.
We like them here. You know, growing up, I wasn't sure about this Tiffanie with an IE, but being in a era of getting your name as a website, yay, mommy and daddy, that was awesome. Woohoo. So, Kristie, before we go, it has been a pleasure having you here, sharing with us. And I want to give you that last chance. What else is it that we have to know before you go?
Well, I would like to share. I'm sure there's lots of people that would like to take an event online, and maybe you're not ready to have me as your paid support, but you could just do with a bit of accountability to get you to get it online. So we're come along to sign up for a consultation, and let's move you forward. Let's 2026 be the year you take your in-person event online, and I would love to help you make it happen.
Thank you so very much, Kristie, for being here. We look forward to having you as part of our Women Entrepreneurs Living a Child-Free team to make our events next level. Y'all, I look forward to seeing you in the new year. Have an amazing Boxing Day. I hope your holidays have been extra special. You have an amazing new year. Next week, we will be here with our last interview in this style. We've got some new stuff coming your way at January 9th and a slightly new format coming. You'll see in the middle of January. So thank y'all so very much. Have an amazing time. Thank you, Kristie. Happy holidays, y'all, and happy